So when do we actually get to stop and enjoy this American dream? And I think for me, there came a point at which I just realized that I wasn't really enjoying the stuff. How about you guys?
I can totally relate. I did get my single family dream home, or well, pretty close. I mean, I really love my home and everything I've done to it. But come to find out, as a single mom with a teenager that's here half time, I have all this space. I don't spend time in every single room. Why do I need this much space, right? It's that status, it's the standard, and I totally fell full to it because now I can't keep up with it. I have work that I have to do, and then there's work after work. I come home, someone has to cook dinner, someone has to mow the lawn, someone has to clean the house, someone has to take the dog out, and I'm
Do
like,
you actually mow the lawn?
I did and do. It's usually now the responsibility of my teenager who's protesting every time she does
Okay.
that. So we are splitting up that responsibility. So I will take a lunch break. There are benefits working from home. There are totally benefits from that. And on a nice day, I'll take a lunch break. I take 10 minutes and mow the front lawn. I'm like, you know what? Back lawn is on my kid, or a different day. But because it's waiting to do things after work is just exhausting, because after work you just want to relax and enjoy the things you have. But I find myself that I can't relax. I'm working for the things I have. There's no joy in that.
So you give her the minefield in the back while you do the easy stuff, huh?
We flip a coin sometimes, but I told her, hey, if we're gonna move into this house, we're gonna have more work to do. You're gonna have to help clean the house and mow the lawn. And at some point, we actually tried to keep up with the house. We did clean ourselves and we did mow the lawn, but at some point, she's in 5 honor classes. She has homework. I
No, we get it. We
overworked
had
that
the same
for
thing.
it.
We
How
had
did you
three
handle it?
bedrooms. Well, we had 3 bedrooms that we never went into, and a bathroom that we a bathroom that was never 2 bathrooms that were never used,
Pretty much.
and there was a extra shower in the bathroom downstairs that it got used so much that I'd have to turn it on every couple months. Otherwise, all the water had evaporated out and the sewer was getting in.
Oh, wow.
So
It's all those guests you
w-
were gonna have, among other things.
So besides the chasing after all of this stuff, and we kind of talked about the exhaustion, but where do you think this term called burnout, which we're throwing around a lot these days, where do you think this comes into this whole flip of the American dream to American nightmare?
it only takes so much. You add on more debt to be able to have your toys so you can feel like you're living your dream. You have your work depending on where you work. You most people have some form of overtime they have to work. I don't know of too many situations where you don't where you don't have that blessing. Um, so it just starts building up, and then you take on more responsibility in your work as you get older. So time plays a factor, and this a dream as it. I never really thought about it until we started talking about it today, but time definitely plays a factor. The older you get, especially when you start throwing kids into it, the less time you have. So the less time you have to enjoy it, and it, there's only so much that you can take on and your body can handle, and that's when burnout comes in.
Yes, speaking from experience, it's not always work related. It's definitely a major contributor, but looking at it from a single parent perspective, and you have a full-time job, you're at work, you fulfill your responsibilities. You come home, you have your kids, and your kids sometimes have busier schedule than you do. I mean, there was a period of my life where I just could not keep up with all the after school activities. It was insane. Every single day, we're running somewhere from someplace, and it was just nuts. You go from 6 a.m. By the time it's 10 p.m., you're like, I'm just now getting home because it was just a crazy busy day. It is your work, it is your kids, it is your responsibilities, whether you have an elderly or a sick individual you're responsible for and you're helping walk with them. It's all these other extracurricular activities that you have burdened yourself with by saying yes, perhaps when you shouldn't have. And I'm definitely guilty of that because you have so much stress and you have stress upon stress upon stress that just builds up. And there's no way in a really, busy life, there's very little opportunity to distress and relieve the pressure. For some people, they could go to the gym at the end of the day. They'll find that 30 minutes, they'll just get it out of the system and they're good. But for majority of us, that is not feasible. So we're just kind of stuck in this stress cycle that just builds up until what? Burnout happens.
Yeah, and Masha, thanks for pointing out that, as a single parent, you have that extra factor. I still remember several years ago, I was actually going out to people's homes to do health-related surveys, and I still remember walking in the door of one home of a single mom. There were cardboard boxes, cereal boxes everywhere, and you could tell that that was what her two sons were eating most of the time because she was actually trying to hold down not one, but three jobs just to make ends meet. And you could tell that the kids were pretty much on their own. They were on their own to eat. They were on their own to, try to take care of the house. And when I went into that situation, I just remember thinking about how hard that was for her to she was trying to do her best job to take care of her kids. This research study was focused on your kids' health. And yet, her American dream, like she was just trying to keep her kids fed and taken care of. So that's definitely, for single parents, that's a hard thing.
And thanks for pointing out nutrition. It's obviously very important to take good care of your children and make sure that they get the nutrition that they need. But also from the burnout perspective, us parents, we don't eat well when we're stressed out. We eat quick. We eat what's convenient, and what's convenient is usually not really good for us. So we usually have a problem sleeping. And if you have problems sleeping, we overcompensate the next day by having more unhealthy things. And, beyond a cup of coffee, we may have a 2 or 3 and then refill to your 2 or 3 coffees. And by the time you need to distress and come down, you can because you're just completely off balance.
Yep, that's a good point. And we don't do very well as a society with dealing with this stress of work and life and letting ourselves really complete that stress cycle and, come down from the stress. So, this American dream can definitely turn into an American nightmare pretty quickly. So what are our steps back